Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Hearty Tips with Silka this Thursday. I am Silka, Heart for Art. I teach people step by step how to paint. I do that online and in my studio. Welcome, like I said, to this week's episode of Hearty Tips with Silka. Yay! Today I am going to show you how to paint my cherry blossom tree. It's the cutest thing. I just painted it yesterday. It's fresh off the press, fresh off the easel. So yes, we're going to have fun painting that today. It's a nice, colourful, happy, easy painting. Super easy. Can you see it? There it is. So if you've always wanted to learn to paint, but you think you're not creative enough, or you think it's too hard, or whatever it is that's blocking you, I want to show you today how easy it is to paint. And maybe break down some barriers for you. All right. I want to show you step by step how to paint this beautiful, cute little cherry blossom tree. And I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is and, you know, how much fun it is to paint. It's totally heaps of fun. So I'll show you how easy it is, and you'll be able to enjoy learning to paint too and have a ton of fun in the process as well. Like I said, it's a nice, easy, fun tutorial. Is just such a simple one. So if you're new to painting, this is a great one to start with. If you've already started painting and you just want some practice, this is a super fun one that's going to give you some great practice, maybe teach you a new skill or two as well, and it's going to look fabulous hanging on your wall. And I'm going to tell you about my newest painting and how you can paint your very own one of those as well. So let me start painting. Okay, I'm going to just remove one and put a blank one there. Okay, let me turn you around so you can see what I'm doing. Say hi as you come on. Let me know who's here. Let me know if you're painting with me today or just watching. There we go. That's a slightly better view in it. Let me know if you can hear me all right as well. Ow, sorry, just bumped my elbow. Nothing serious, all good. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is tell you what brushes I'm using. Now, I'm using a bristle brush today. It's a hog bristle brush. Now we want a little bit of texture and a little bit of blossom dabbiness. Yeah, that's a good description, eh? Hello, Inga. Hello, Julian. Nice to have you both here. Yay, we're going to have some fun. Oh, good, you're painting with me live. Lovely. All right. Well, I'm going to be using some bristle brushes today. Coming through loud and clear. Lovely. Thank you, Julianne, for letting me know. I'm going to be using some bristle brushes today and also a liner brush. I've got a number 1, just a Taklon synthetic brush, a number 1, but any small liner brush will do. All right. So let me just be able to get my comments so I can see your comments. Hi, Heather. Hi, Heather. Nice to see you here as well. Lovely. All right. So we're going to start. We're going to paint our sky. All right. So these are the colors I'm using. You can essentially use any colors you want. I've got a blue and a couple of greens, a couple of shades of green. And I've got a magenta, but it can be any kind of pink. And I've got a bit of black and a bit of brown for my tree trunk and some yellow for some extra flowers later. And, of course, white because we want to mix our nice lighter blossom colors. Hello, Susan. Eleanor and I joining you. No bristle brushes, though. That's okay if you haven't got bristle brushes, as long as you've got something that's a little bit coarser or something that you can just tap lightly on the end of your brush. All right. If you've got one of these brushes, you know, you could use a liner brush as well, but it might take you a bit longer. All right. I'll show you the process and you can decide for yourself. So what we're going to do first is mix our sky color. All right. So you can decide how light or how dark you want your sky. And whenever you're mixing, we always start with the lightest color first and then add the darker color because you'll see that the darker color overwhelms real quick. So decide how light. Oh, a little bit darker, I think. A little bit darker. You can always add a little bit more if you need to. And what we're going to do is we're just going to paint the whole sky in nice and easy. Now I'm using a larger bristle brush, but for this particular part, you can use any brush you like. You can use a flat brush if you like. Any brush. We're literally just filling in the sky for now. I'm just going to add a little bit more because we need a bit more. So I'm just going to do lots of little quick strokes. I can see that it's lighter than yesterday's one. This one I painted yesterday for you. So I'm just going to add a little bit more blue, make it a bit darker. You can do that on your canvas as well. You can mix on your canvas. Often you get some nice effects. You see I'm just dipping in my blue and adding that to my canvas, and that will give me some extra blueness there. I'm just going to mix it on my palette as well, get it a bit darker. That's better. I've got the right shade of blue that I want now. I'm just going to paint up to where the grass is. I'm not going to worry too much about the edge of where the grass is. Yeah, nice and easy. And I'm just going to do lots of nice little streaks. Now, this is going to go on the background behind our tree, so we don't have to worry too much about how perfect it is. And I'm just going to fill that whole space in. If you want to paint around your edges as well, you know, it often looks nice if you just carry your painting on around the edges of your canvas. Looks good. So we're just going to, now if you're in Wellington and you want a slightly windier sky, you can put some wisps, you know, wisps in, you know, add some wispiness. So you can see that looks a little bit windier, doesn't it? But of course, Julianne and all of you up north, winterless north, you'll be wanting a nice, smooth, soft sky. We're going to add some clouds as well, so you can have fun with your skies. I'm running out. I didn't mix enough. I'm just going to mix a little bit more. You can have fun with your sky. Even though it's just a background, you can really get some good texture happening with these nice big bristle brushes. But we're not really worrying about where everything's going brush stroke wise. I love seeing my brush strokes. I don't like seeing my bristles though. I can see I've got a brand new brush. Here's an extra tip for you. If you've got a brand new brush and you haven't washed it a few times first, it will molt. If you get some bristles on your, I don't know if you can see those, I've got a couple of bristles there on my canvas. You just sort of do a reverse scoop. There you go. See, I got that one and that one. And that picks them up, and then you can discard them. I always wash my brushes when I get brand new ones because they melt. That's just standard. All right, so we've got our sky in. What we're going to do now is just, without cleaning our brush, because you can also mix your colors on your brush, without cleaning your brush, we're just going to dip in a little bit of white, and we're going to add some clouds in there. You can be as random as you want. We're just going to let the two colors party a little bit together on the canvas and on the brush, so we get a little bit of a light blue color, and then we just create some cloud shapes. And then to add a little bit of extra lightness to the top, you just add a little bit more on, and you just do 1 or 2 strokes, and you just let those strokes sit there. The more you go over your colors, the more they will blend together. So if you just put your color down and leave it, then it won't blend together. So you get some nice, quick, easy little clouds. If you want to soften it, you just, you know, go over it a few more times. You can see the more I go over it, the more it blends into the background, you see. If you've gone too far, you can always just put a bit more white on top. All right. I'm just making some fluffy clouds. I'll put some white on top of this one, just dipping in the extra white. And I'm just making some random little clouds here. All right. You can have fun. This is a great one to have fun with. You can paint clouds all day. I love looking at clouds. I love lying in my sunroom looking up, watching the clouds. But you can also look at clouds all day, every day, and paint clouds all day, every day. So there we go. So each cloud is just a few little like brush strokes, and then you dip a little bit more in your white and just add a bit of light back on top of each cloud. It just gives them a little bit of perspective, a little bit of depth, and they just look a little bit cooler. Okay, so what are we going to do next? So we painted our clouds. So who's painting with me live? Let me know who's painting with me live. Susan and Eleanor are painting with me live. Who else is painting with me live? Or are you going to watch the replay and paint later? So what we're going to do next is we are going to dry everything. All right, this is the boring bit. Inga's painting live. Yay, cool. All right, we're going to pop that brush in water. We're going to grab our hair dryers. trusty hairdryer. Mine's covered in paint, obviously, and we're just going to dry this because we want to put our tree trunk on next. All right, so give your painting a quick blow dry. Really, it just needs to be where your tree's going. And if you're watching and painting with me for the first time, you may not have heard about my shiny wobble test. Okay, so this is my shiny wobble test where you basically wobble it in the light and anything that's shiny is still wet. That's the easiest way to see if it's dry, all right? So this one is just all shiny, so it's all wet. So we dry. So we check again, and you'll see that now there's no shiny in this bit here. So we are good to go to put our tree on top, all right? So that's a clear demonstration also of when you want two colors to blend together, you need them both to be wet. But if you want to put another color over the top, you need the bottom layer to be dry, all right? Otherwise, it will blend like our clouds did. Okay, so we are going to paint the trunk of our tree now. Yeah, and we're just going to use straight brown, and then we're going to add some patches of lighter and darker. All right, so whenever you're, let me put my hairdryer away, whenever you're trying to do some sort of light detailed work, well, Julianne's painting live too. Yay, lots of people painting live. This is like a virtual paint party. Awesome. Only a little short, easy one. So whenever you're trying to paint you want some clean lines, what you want to do is often your paint, depending on what brand you've got, often your paint will be quite thick and you'll get big blobs on your brush, and you can also get dry edges. If your paint is just too dry, or if it's too warm a day, your paint will dry quickly, you'll get dry edges. So what I usually do is just dip my brush in the water and mix that into my paint, and the more fluid it is, the easier you'll be able to control it, and the easier it will go on. All right, so we're just going to paint our cherry blossom trunk now. So decide where you want your tree to be centered, and we're just going to sort of paint a trunk, and it's got bumps on it. We're going to paint it down into our, I'm just sort of being a little bit rough with this. The cherry blossoms, I actually looked up cherry blossoms online, and the tree trunks are really quite rough and bumpy. So, they're not clean edges. They're not straight down trunks at all. So I'm going to paint some extra, even though we're going to paint over them, I'm going to paint some branches in, all right? Now, branches will get thinner as they get further away from the tree. So you want to make sure you've got some nice thin ones, and I'm just going to be a little bit random about this, and just pop something in. Now, if you're painting with me for the first time, or you're watching this on replay, what you want to do is not have big blobs on your brush. You want to twirl and pull your brush to get most of the paint off, and then it's the amount of pressure that you put on your brush that will determine how thick or thin your line is. If you're just using a tiny little bit of pressure, you'll get a nice thin line. If you put more pressure on your brush, your branch will get thicker. All right, so we're just gonna, I'll put one out here as well. We're just gonna be a little bit random about where our branches go, and I'm just gonna put a whole bunch of branches on, and we're gonna put cherry blossoms on them. And I can see I've got some dry edges happening. So by that I mean that the paint just isn't going on well, and it's there's bits missing. So if that's happening, it just means that my paint is a little bit thick and it's not going on so well. So I just dip my brush in water and mix that into my paint. Oh, you can't see that. There we go. And that gives me a little bit more control. And look at that. Lovely. I've now got my paint going on a whole lot better. I've never actually studied a cherry blossom tree that up close, other than my quick little Google look online for photos of cherry blossom trees. So I'm just totally making up where these branches go. And honestly, this is one that you can have a little bit of fun with and just go all over the place. It really doesn't matter. Branches, but just keeping in mind that your branches will get thicker as they get closer to the trunk of the tree, as do most trees. In fact, there might be some weird ones like those banyan trees or whatever they're called that would have, you know, a totally thick stem and then weird little thin branches. Okay, I'm going to cover that one up. That one's a bit thick. I'll cover that one up later. So at the moment, I'm just using a little number 1, Inga. Sorry, thanks for asking. I forgot to tell you that. I'm just using a little liner brush at the moment. So I've got a number 1 synthetic brush, but you can have a 0 or a 2, or even, you know, a little bit bigger. As long as you're just using the very tip of the brush, then you can get some nice thin lines. Okay, my tree's looking like it's a Wellington tree. It's on a lean, so I'm just going to straighten that up a bit. So it's not so leany like my lemon tree, which grows on an angle because it's in the Wellington wind. Okay, so then we have our tree trunk. Whoops, just got a bit thicker. That's fine. There we have our tree trunk. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to wipe the main, where's my paint rag gone? I'm just going to wipe the main part of my paint off my brush. All right, off my brush, just wipe it, nothing serious. And then I'm going to dip in white, just the tip of my brush, the tiniest little bit of white. Can you see that? It's just the tiniest little bit of white. And I'm going to use that to just add some light patches on the right-hand side. And the same as what we did with the clouds, you go over it. It looks very white when you first put it on. See, look at that, really white. Wow, scary. But when you go over it a few times, it blends in with the brown and softens everything back. Just blend it over a few times and that'll just soften it back. And what you've now done is you've added a highlight to your tree, all right? So there's a bit of light shining on your tree. So I'll do that again, just the tiniest little bit of white. Better to err on the side of less than more. If you're not sure, we just add a little bit of white in there and we add all on the same side. So the sun's coming from this side. And we just blend that in and we just add those highlights on that side. We add a few little detail, you know, bits in the trunk as well. We can do that too. But honestly, we're here for the cherry blossoms, really, not the trunk, to be fair. But each time you might pick up a bit of brown, but each time just sort of blend it in a little bit. And that just gives your tree trunk a little bit of dimension. These blossoms will largely paint over them, branches rather, so we don't really need to do much there. And then on the same note, we are going to mix ourselves a darker brown. I just realized you can't see my brown. There we go. A little bit of white and brown. We just mix ourselves a slightly darker shade and we will use that to add some shadows on our trunk. All right, so we just same thing, but on the other side, we just add some darker patches on the left side of our tree, just being aware of where we're leaning, if it's wet. And I'm just not overthinking this. I'm just adding a few darker patches, just like that. Lovely. All right. You can see, here's one I prepared earlier. You can see how I did it there. And how I've now done it here as well. Same thing. All right, so it's looking like a bit of a gnarly, spooky, haunted tree at the moment, but that's all part of the process. Now I'm sharing this free tutorial with you today because I love painting and I know how good it makes me feel. And I want to share that with everyone else. You know, I want to share the joy and buzz of painting with more and more people. I know that I get so many comments from people telling me how much they love painting and what it's done for them. And it's just opened up a whole new world. And I want to share that with as many people as possible. You know, just to show you how easy it actually is. Because it is easy. So what we're going to do next, our same bristle brush, that big one that we used before, I'm just going to clean that, and we're going to put our grass in next. All right. So yes, I just wanted to share. Whenever I share free painting tutorials, it's really just I want to open doors for people. I want to show people how fun and easy painting is. and hopefully encourage you to try something more. So if you're enjoying this tutorial, I'd love to teach you another one. I do have a virtual paint party coming up, Cavity Island. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But first, we're painting grass. So I'm using my bristle brush again. So it's any brush that's kind of got a bit of a tip that is curved and has sort of stray bristles. So even like an old brush, if you've got a really, really old brush with some bristles sticking out all over the place, that would be perfect. So we want this brush to be nice and dry. So once you've cleaned it, I usually just squeeze my brushes in my towel. And we're just going to use a bit of green, and we're going to paint our grass, a bit of green and a bit of yellow. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to dab, lots of dabs, all right? So because what we want is we want those bristles to create the texture. So you can see I've just done some dabs there, and each dab, because I'm not pushing very hard, creates a sort of a fluffy texture, all right? So this is my bristle brush. It doesn't really matter what size you use, as long as it gives you that texture. And you just put a little bit of brush on it, a little bit of paint on your brush at a time, and just keep dabbing and overlapping all your dabs, all right? If you put too much paint on your brush at once, you will actually get a solid green area. What we want is to just create this grassy sort of texture, all right? Just be careful around your tree. You can see I've picked up a little bit of brown already. And then we dab in yellow as well. Let's put some yellow in just to break that up a little bit. Create a few patches of yellow. I'm not cleaning my brush in between. We're letting the colors have a party on the brush together. And we just keep sort of alternating dips in yellow and green, overlapping all the way, making sure to cover up over the horizon line, and we just keep layering. And what you want to create is lots of areas of different shades of color, all right? So you want some lighter patches of green, some darker patches of green, some yellow, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Hang on, I'm painting on both of them at once now. Oops. Cool. So look how easy this is. We're creating grass now. Isn't this the simplest thing in the world? So just keep dabbing, cover all the way up to your horizon line, to the bottom of your tree. We will add a few more little details there later. If you can't get too close to your tree, or you're getting brown on your brush, that's all good. We will finish that off afterwards later on with the liner brush. So create some nice patches of lights and darks with your yellows and your greens. And we are also going to put a shadow underneath our tree, all right? So once the blooms are all there, we've got the sun coming from over here, sort of. We're gonna add a little bit of dark green, and still I'm not cleaning my brush, all right? We're letting all the colors just get together on the brush, have a great old time. A little bit of green, and I'm just going to darken this area under the tree, all right? So straight over the top of everything. We're just going to sort of create a bit of a shadow under the tree of where the cherry blossoms would cast their shadow. All right, you don't want to get too carried away. Just enough that it looks a bit darker than the rest of the area. In fact, that will probably do, maybe a little bit more. And again, you want each individual bristle and brush stroke to create that grassy texture, all right? So you can see, if I hold it up closer, you can see it's looking like grass. It's not just one flat sort of area. There's little clumps of grass, and it's starting to look nice and interesting. We're still going to add some fallen blossoms and whatnot onto that later. But yes, like I said, I want to open doors and show people how much fun it is. So if you want to join me for a virtual paint party or grab an on-demand paint party, my next one, let me show you, where is it? I have to find it first. Here it is, Cavity Island. Ta-da! Have a quick look at the screen. I will be teaching that one virtually. It's a virtual paint party. Oh, we're going to have so much fun. It's brand new. It's got the super most awesome sky, which is so easy to paint. And the waves are ridiculously easy to paint as well. So yes, that one is going to be my next virtual paint party. I cannot wait to teach you that one. That is part of Paint Club as well, but it's also there's a virtual and there's a studio paint party for that one. And I will give the option to paint a Rangitoto island instead of Kapiti Island or any island you like. If you're overseas, any island you like, it's going to be fun. All right, so we've got our grass. We've got our shaded area of grass. We've done the dark last. What we're going to do now is we are going to do our cherry blossoms. Yay. Now, I tried one with this big brush. You can do it with the big brush if you want, but I found that I got better results with a slightly smaller bristle brush. All right, and this is a hog bristle, but anything rough, basically, anything that's just a little bit sturdy, you know, where you can just use the tip of the brush to do your blossoms. All right, so I've got a number 2 size, but you can see compared to my hand the size of this brush. You can use the one that you're already using as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mix a darker magenta first. You can see I've got some darker colors underneath, so I'm using a magenta. You may have a pink or anything similar. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and add a little bit of blue, all right, and mix a darker shade. It's probably a little bit too dark, so decide on what shade you like. I just want it to be a little bit darker than what's there, all right. And then what we want is we don't want too much paint on our brush, okay. So if there's too much on there, just give it a wipe, and we just want a little bit. And we're going to again do very short little dabs, and think about where the shaded areas are. We're going to just do light little dabs everywhere that the blossoms will be around our tree, and you'll see that it's just creating lovely little shapes. And we have to keep loading our brush, but we don't want to load our brush too much, right? If you put too much on, you're going to get one big dollop. What we want is for all these little bristles to create nice little, each bristle kind of creates one cherry blossom essentially. And we're going to go through the middle of the tree. We're going to cover over the branches. How are we all doing? Are we having fun? Are we enjoying this so far? It's just such a nice, easy, simple one, and it's going to look fabulous when you're finished. So, and we just very light taps. I'll show you side profile. I'm literally perpendicular. I'm just tapping on the canvas very lightly and overlapping everything, grabbing a bit of paint each time. Now, if your tree hasn't dried yet, you may need to just give it a bit of a blow dry. All right. Because you may pick up a little bit of brown. I can just see that middle there. Often when you've just painted little branches like that, they're so, you know, there's so little paint there that it dries really, really quickly. So we're just going to keep going, and dabbity dab, 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 dab. This is just such a super fun, easy one to do. A great one to paint with kids if you've got grandkids around, or your own kids, or borrow someone else's kids. It's just such a super fun, easy one to do. So we're just putting all of the dark layers on first. And we can always come back and put more on if we want to. I always feel like I'm calling you a moron when I say that. I'm not. I'm telling you to put more paint on, more on. There we go. Okay. All right. So we've got our dark ones on now. Next, we're going to go with straight magenta, all right? So just light dabs, and I'm just going to wipe my brush. I'm not going to clean it, but now we're going to go with straight magenta, all right? And again, not too much, and we're going to do the same thing. You're going to pick up a little bit of that darker color, so you'll need to just keep dabbing and overlaying, and we're going to just slowly build this up. Next color we're going to do is going to be a little bit lighter again, and we're going to slowly build this up, and we're just layering our cherry blossoms. All right, so you can see there's slowly, some of the color will blend together because those two colors are both wet, but you can see we're slowly building up our blossoms as we go. Let me show you close up. There we go. So we're slowly building up our bunches of blossoms. All right. We just keep going. Dabbity dab dab. Keep loading your brush and dabbing. Super fun. So I was telling you about Cavity Island, or any of my virtual paint parties actually. I'm just working on the next one. I'm always trying to load new ones, but they're a really cool way to just have a bit of fun online, the comfort of home. I give you a full supply list and tell you what paintbrushes, and then just like this, it's step by step. Step by step, I talk you through the whole painting until you've got your very own finished masterpiece at the end, and it's such a cool way to just learn to paint, pick up some new skills, some new techniques. Every painting, I try to share a new technique. So yeah, it's a really fun way to learn to paint. And you get to do it from the comfort of home, and you can watch the replays anytime you want if you can't make the live. And you meet other people who are like-minded, you know, wanting to learn to paint, or just creative people. Yeah, so it's a good way to just have a bit of community painting from the comfort of your own home, you know, with others, but on your own, or with your kids. I know there's a few people who join me on my virtuals who paint with their grandkids. Or, you know, with their sisters, or just friends. It's such a cool thing to do together. All right, so we dabbity dab dabbing. Now we're going to mix a lighter color. How are we getting on? Are we getting some nice cherry blossoms? Give me a thumbs up or a heart or something. Let me know your cherry trees are coming together all right. Now, we don't want to fill the space up too much. We are covering the branches, but we don't want to fill the space up too much because we want the majority of the lighter blossoms to come through, all right? So what I'm going to do, just with the paint that's on my brush, there's not too much. Let me just check the comments are still coming through. Good. I'm going to grab some white, and I'm going to mix a lighter pink, all right? So you decide how light you want it to be. How do you get a purple kind of pink if you only have red? Okay, so Heather says, how do you get a purple kind of pink if you only have red? Do you have any blue, Heather? Because you need red and blue to make purple. You'll just need the tiniest little bit of blue into your red, and that will make it purple. All right. Julianne's giving me a thumbs up. Awesome. If you don't have any pink, that's totally cool, but you do need some blue to make purple with your red. Hope that helps. So now that we've got our purple, we need a bit of pink. So I'm just going to make, now you decide, like I said, how pink or how dark you want this to be. And then same again. Cool. Okay. Awesome, Heather. And then same again. We're just going to keep on dabbing. Dabbity dab dab all over the place. Yeah. I mean, how easy is this, right? And fun. Yee-hee. And look, our trees are coming together. Oh, so excited. I love this one. As you dab, of course, your colors underneath are going to be wet, and that's the beauty of it. All those colors will start to intermingle together. And yeah, you'll get lots of beautiful shades. It won't just be that one shade of pink or one shade of magenta. All the colors will slowly mingle and create all these different shades of pinks and purples and whatnot. Now, I've created a few little gaps here. I've let a few gaps show through where the branches still show. So we're just dabbing away, happily dabbing. Now, I was talking about the virtual paint party, the Cavity Island painting. If you're in Paint Club, that one is our next painting that I'm going to teach you. I'm so excited. I'm just in love with that painting. It's so bright and cheerful. and colourful and fun to paint. So we will be painting that together in Paint Club in August. Now, if you're watching this on replay and August has well been and gone, we're bound to be painting something else new and awesome in Paint Club and virtually. And if you're not in Paint Club, you can totally still join my virtual events. You can just get an individual ticket to that particular virtual paint party, and you can join in any ones you like. So look, my tree's just slowly coming together. You want to get a few just stray ones out to the side, you know, here and there. You know, if you're not in Paint Club, you can totally still join any of my virtual paint parties anytime at all. If you want to be in Paint Club, though, and you're wondering what Paint Club is, if you're watching this on replay maybe, and you're thinking, what is Paint Club? Paint Club is an awesome monthly membership. I know there's a lot of you watching here today. Who's in Paint Club? Who's loving Paint Club? Yay! And we paint. I share a virtual painting tutorial, a brand new painting every month. So I create something brand new for Paint Club every month, and I give you all your supply list and your brushes and colors and everything that you need to create your beautiful painting. It's super fun, super easy, and yeah, you get a brand new painting tutorial every month. Best of all, though, when I open it up again, it's going to be $20 a month, which is my virtual paint party. If you get one ticket, it's $25.50. So if you join Paint Club, you will get one a month for only $20 bonus. My founding members got an even cheaper. So as long as you stay in the membership, you will keep that cheap price. But yes, when I reopen the doors, it's going to be only $20 a month for as long as you're a member. So it's perfect for new painters, beginners, or anyone wanting to build their creative confidence. We've been having a ton of fun in Paint Club already. Painting loads of fun paintings. So Anga's asking, how do you get the clumps of blossoms? Essentially, you think a little bit about where your clumps are. So rather than just randomly painting pink everywhere, you sort of concentrate them in little clumps. All right, so I put more here and there's a little bit of a clump, and I put more here, and you sort of create your clumps. If you've got areas where you think are not, you want to create some clumps, go back a shade. All right, so go back to the magenta, and you can create some areas underneath. Oops, I missed the paint. There was no paint on my brush. You can create some darker patches underneath, and that creates the clumps as well. So you sort of concentrate one color to create your clumps. Does that make sense? Sometimes I wonder how I'm explaining stuff. I know how to do it on my head, but so you're creating these darker and lighter patches, essentially. You're not just sort of evenly spreading all your dashes across the whole painting. You're creating lighter and darker patches. I could probably create another clump here, actually. And there you go, see? So there's each clump has your lighter patches, your darker patches underneath, lighter patches on top, darker patches underneath. So that's how you create your patches. And like I said, you can go back if you want to put a bit more of the dark in. Go back to your purple, just wipe your brush, go back to your purple and add some more. I've run out of purple. I just have to mix some more. Hold the line, please, caller. There we go. Your dark. It's just your magenta. I've just used magenta and a little bit of blue. If you haven't got magenta and blue, you can use red and blue. So we can just add some darker patches back in. So each clump has got a light area on top, a medium color, and then a bit darker on the bottom. Does that make sense, Inga? I hope. I think I might like this one better than my first one. But that's the beauty of this. You can paint this one over and over again and get a different cherry blossom tree every time. And they'll all look good. Because who doesn't love cherry blossoms? Oh, awesome. Great, Inga. Glad to hear that. So yes, Paint Club I was telling you about Paint Club. It's closed to new members at the moment. I'm busy serving all my current members. We're having a great time. We're figuring out what's working and what's not, and we're making it awesome. I'm going to make it even better. But if you've always wanted to learn to paint, but you don't know where to start, or if you're a new artist and you wanted to learn a few new tricks, or you just want more practice, you want more paintings, or you don't know what to paint and you want me to come up with ideas and show you what to paint each month, then Paint Club is the perfect place for you. Because I design brand new paintings every month and share them with you in a virtual scenario just like this, showing you step by step exactly how to paint everything we do. So it's good fun. Perfect way to learn, get new skills, learn new techniques. Yeah, so if you want more information about Paint Club, I'm going to be opening the doors again soon. This is like your sneaky heads up. Go get on the wait list. Pop over to my website, scroll down a bit. You will see the Paint Club image there, a little bit further down the page. And just click on that, and then there's all the information you need to find out about Paint Club, and also the wait list. You can get on the wait list. Oh, I want more pink now. You can just keep going with this one, eh? It's just fun. But yes, go get on the wait list if you want to join Paint Club. It's only going to be $20 a month for a virtual painting tutorial with me every month. This is just a nice simple one to give you a taste. We'll do slightly more not complicated ones. They're all easy to do, but slightly more detailed ones. Okay, I think I'm almost happy with my tree. I might just put some dark, a little bit more dark in the bottom there. Yeah. Yay! Awesome. All right. Okay, so we've got our sky, our grass, our tree. What are we doing next? You can do some white dots if you want to and let those blend in, but I think we've got it going good now. So next I'm going to switch back to a little number one. I've got my little number one brush, a little liner brush. And we're just going to put some grass over the bottom of our tree. All right. If your tree is still wet, give it a quick blow dry. Because we're going to paint over the bottom of our cherry blossom tree now. Gosh, they're both quite different shapes, aren't they? That's the beauty of it. And I'm just going to get some straight green. Make sure my brush is nice and dry. I'm going to get some straight green. I'm just going to do a few little flicks of grass over the bottom of my tree, just so that it doesn't look like it's floating above the grass. Nice light touch. Can go up or it can go down, but that just makes it look like it's in the grass now. And this is where, if you couldn't get very close to the side of your tree before, you can just go in and fix that up if you need to. I mean, I did some brush strokes, did some dabs up and down, and sort of made it not completely flat on top. If you need to, you can use this brush to just, add some little streaks of grass that go taller than your horizon if you want to, just to break it up, cover up any blue bits if you've got any horizon still showing through. Nice and easy. Yay. You're just using a nice light touch as well. Again, just a reminder that the pressure you put on your brush, if you want a nice thin line, you just use a very small amount of pressure. If you want a thicker line, you use a bit more pressure. If you want a really thick line, you use heaps of pressure. All right, so it's the pressure on your brush that will determine how thin your grass is, or how thin your branches were earlier on as well. So now I'm going to add some fallen blossoms. All right, so we're going to add the fallen blossoms. So I'm going to clean my little number one liner brush. You can do this with your bristle brush if you want to, but I'm going to do it with my little liner brush. All right, because these are individual blossoms that have now fallen off. And all I'm going to do is just do a few little dabbity dabs, really light dab with the tip of my brush. And if you just watch where your green is wet, because those colors will blend together and it'll make a real earthy color. So, and again, just be random. Don't, the more you evenly space all your brush strokes, the less natural it's going to look. So you want to have some that are further apart, some that are clustered together. And Mum, if you're watching, she was telling me that she didn't think there was enough blossoms on the ground in my original, so I'm going to put some more in for you, Mum. I love Mum's feedback. Mum's an awesome artist as well, so she's always my first go-to. Whenever I do a brand new painting, the very first person that I show it to is always my mum. Mum, what do you think? And she's Dutch, so she will tell me straight up, you know, what she thinks is wrong with it or what I need to fix on it, which is awesome. I love it. Mum always gives me such amazing feedback and helps me create great paintings for you all. Thanks, Mum. So I'm doing more blossoms for you today, Mum. The fallen ones, and I'm letting a few blow over here. So it's literally just lots of little dabs with the tip of my brush. So if I'll show you close up. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just all the fallen blossoms. Now these are just dark ones, so I'm going to add some light ones as well. So if we've still got some, wipe your brush or mix. I have to mix some more because I've run out. Yeah, I've just used the straight magenta, and now I'm using the lighter color. I'm remixing the lighter pink that I had before, and I'll do a few dots with those as well. Just light little dots, and these are all our fallen blossoms. Yay! Oh, that's a big fallen blossom there, or maybe it's lots of little ones clustered together. But again, you want to make sure you don't just totally evenly spaced stuff. The more natural, I mean, nothing ever falls perfectly lined up and all spaced evenly. It all falls quite naturally in different spacings. So you want to make sure you try and mimic that. Cool. How's that looking? Who else goes to their mum for advice on stuff? I know I do a lot for art stuff because Mum's good at that. All right. Okay, so we've got our fallen blossoms all over the place. And we're going to add some flowers now. We're nearly done. We're just putting the finishing touches on now. We're going to add some flowers. So you can see I've added some different coloured flowers. So could you show me the close-up again, please? Yes, Singer, I certainly can. So this is my blossoms, all my fallen blossoms. Isn't that starting to look lovely? Yay! How's that? All good? So that's so far with just our blossoms. Now we're going to add some flowers. Actually, that is better with more blossoms, Mum. You're right. Thanks. I'm just going to wipe my brush. Don't need to clean it. And I'm going to decide what other colors. I've got some yellow here already. So I'm just going to dip the tip of my brush in yellow. And I'm going to add some clusters of yellow flowers. And again, random. You want to be quite random. If you do anything too evenly, it's going to look odd. So I'm just going to add some little clusters of flowers. These are like not daisies, you know, the ones that grow on your lawn that you have to mow over all the time. So there we go. You can see my little yellow dots there, just little clusters of yellow flowers, literally just little dots of the color. There is another painting tutorial I did, a really easy, like ridiculously easy flower painting that is on my blog. That is a similar technique where we just do dots of color. I'm going to get some red now. We just do dots of color and we have a beautiful, simple, easy painting. So that's on my blog if you want another quick, easy flower painting to try. That's super fun. So I'm going to put some red on. Now you can do any colors you like. Pick all your favorite flower colors. I'm going to add some red. I've got a nice big flower on my finger as well. Whoops. So I'm going to add some red flowers. Just all over the place. Now you can have fun with this. You can put as many or as few as you like. You can put little bunches of flowers. You can put one flower on its own somewhere. This is just fun. I loved it. I've just had a thing for flowers. Maybe it's just because it's winter and it's been a bit chilly. I've been doing a lot of flowers lately. A lot of bright coloured flowers and sunsets and bright colours. I want some more yellow ones. So just keep adding your flowers. I mean, you can have a ton of fun with this one. And there is no right and wrong. You can just go for it and really enjoy the process. And you'll be feeling nice and relaxed now, I'm sure. Put some more over there. Yay, because painting is just so relaxing and fun. And there we have it. We have a beautiful, beautiful cherry blossom tree with fallen blossoms and flowers. And I hope you had fun. I hope you had fun. Actually, I'm just looking at this. There's a big line across here that I'm not liking so much. So I'm just going to fix that up a little bit. It's just a big straight line. I don't think the tree would grow in a straight line. So I'm just going to fill that in a little bit and pretend it wasn't there. There you go. So take a look, take a step back and just have a look and see if you feel you're feeling your tree. Is it feeling like a good shape? I actually painted a Pohutukawa tree a couple of years ago now, and I ended up with shapes that essentially made it look like a mouth and two big eyes, which is what I was just seeing there again. So just have a quick look and make sure your tree's not looking in any way of it, like there's something else in there that shouldn't be. And I'm so pleased with that. I think, I don't know, I like this one maybe better than my first one. So beautiful flowers all growing in the grass underneath. We've got a beautiful, colourful cherry blossom tree, some clouds. And if you want to put some birds in, I'll show you how to do that. You can if you want to. You don't have to. We get our little liner brush. We get a little bit of black and we thin it with water. We just dip our brush in water because we want it to be nice and fluid. The more fluid your paint is, the easier you'll be able to get nice, clean lines. All right. And then we just use the very tip of our brush. Very tip of our brush. And we just do like a curved V shape. All right. Just nice, easy. You can do some bigger ones, some smaller ones. Do them all on different angles. Some of them close up, some of them further away. And just like that, we have some birds flying in. Yay! Look at that. Easy. Now, you don't have to put those in if you don't want to. Entirely up to you. But I just threw that one in as an extra bonus for you. All right. So I showed you how to paint your beautiful cherry blossom tree. I hope you had fun and enjoyed it. It was just so easy and lovely. And you see now that it is easy to paint. It is easy. If you get everything shown to you step by step, it's super, super easy. I told you about my next virtual paint party and how much fun we have in Paint Club as well. And yeah, we created something beautiful. Actually, I like my second one better because I got the flowers right. Mum was so right about the blossoms. Now, the beauty of this one is that you can have fun with this. Try some different colors. Let me turn you around so I can see you again. You don't have to look at. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I did. I love painting. I love showing people how to paint. And like I said, that is my main goal, is to make art so much more accessible to everybody. All right. I want everyone to know how much fun it is because it makes you feel good. It's good for your soul. It's stress relieving. It's just awesomeness. And I want to share that with as many people as possible. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial and you have a beautiful cherry blossom painting like me now, yay! Please share it. Tell others. Like I said, I want to share the joy of painting and the healing of painting with as many people as possible. So share this with others. Tell others about it. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any new ones. I've got another one in my head already for a couple of weeks' time. If you're watching here on Facebook, be sure to follow so you don't miss anything as well. Let me know what you enjoyed the most about this one, about today's painting. Was it the flowers or the cherry blossoms or the birds? What did you like the most? Did you have fun creating your cherry blossoms? I hope you did. Now, the joy of this one, as I just alluded to before, is that it doesn't have to be a cherry blossom tree. You could do it in autumn colors. If you use oranges and reds and yellows, you could have a beautiful autumn tree with, shedding leaves and stuff with the oranges and yellows and reds. Or you can do a beautiful green tree with shades of green and yellow. You can have fun with this one in loads of different colors, and you could do it in like all the colors. Inga's still going. Loved it. Yay. Glad you loved it, Inga. Thanks for joining me. You could do like rainbow colors, purples and greens and oranges. You can do any colors you want. Have fun. Go and paint it more often. Paint it on little cards or something and then give it to people as cards. Yay. Bring some cheer to their life as well. And if you want more painting tips, more free tutorials, I mentioned the easy flower painting one already. They're all on my blog. Head over to my website there and look for the blog in the menu. There's loads of stuff there, loads of free paintings, loads of tutorials and tips and lots of things to learn and have fun with. And if you'd like to paint Kapiti Island, where is it? I'll show you again. Ta-da! There it is. Beautiful. If you'd like to paint Kapiti Island with me, pop over to my website. You can book online and you can join me and my other paint club members for some creative fun, painting your very own Kapiti Island masterpiece. And I don't know if I mentioned, I will be showing it also as Rangitoto, how to paint Rangitoto or any other island at all. So I'd love you to join me. I'd love to show you how to paint another painting as well. And if you want to get into Paint Club, pop over to my website as well. Scroll down a bit. You will see the Paint Club link there. Get on the wait list and you'll be the first to know when I open the doors. It's going to be soonish. I'm still doing a bit of planning on how to make it more awesome, but it's going to be soonish. We'd love to have you in Paint Club. The page does say it's closed, but there is a little thing to join the wait list. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you had fun with that. And you've all got beautiful cherry blossoms blooming everywhere. I know we've got people from all over the country, maybe even overseas today. Beautiful cherry blossoms blooming everywhere. I'd love to see them. I would love to see them. If you want to post them in the comments below, photos of your cherry blossoms, I would love to see them, especially if you tried other colors as well, or message it to me. I'd love to see your cherry blossoms. Yay. All right. I am going to go and have some dinner now. So I hope you had fun. Thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned for the next free painting or Hearty Tips with Silka, and I hope to see you at the end of a paintbrush soon. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Bye.